What's up, everybody? Today is August 12th, 2025, and my mic wasn't working at the time, so I'm just going to do a voiceover. And I'm basically out here just protesting no kings, no tyrants, and no fake representation. And the reason I'm out here is because I was done dirty. I was arrested while I was injured, forced to sleep in a cement bed while I had a separated AC joint, a winged scapula, and nerve damage, and it hurt. It delayed my medical treatment. It got me arrested, basically. They revoked my driver's license, and I was injured. So with that being said, I'm out here protesting. Today's August 12th, 2025. I think the entrance for the civilians is on the other side. Yeah, no problem. So I'm out here outside the city hall, and I'm protesting no kings, no tyrants, and no fake representation. And the reason I'm doing that here today is because I'm still injured. I'm still basically getting taxed interest for my child support. There's days that I can pay, and that's because of poker. I know it sounds controversial, but I do make money off of that. I make more money off of that than I do DoorDash. So when I do play and make money, I do good, but like there's days they'll set me back a week or two, and I'm talking about $600 is 2 weeks because I make 300 in DoorDash a week. So if I do lose, and it goes down like below 500, that sets me back two weeks of work. But I mean, it's a struggle either way. Like even if I would have stayed working, all that money would have been gone. I have to pay bills, I have to pay car insurance, I have to pay gas. I eat every day, unfortunately. So I don't make money. I make $5,000 a year doing DoorDash because I'm injured. I can't work the full 8 hours every day. I have rib pain, I have back pain, lower back pain, and shoulder pain. My collarbone hurts, my neck hurts behind my neck, and my shoulder where I had surgery. It still hurts, and it hasn't recovered. I don't think it'll ever recover. And that's why I'm out here protesting, because these people, they robbed me pretty much. They lied to me. They said that all they could do for a settlement, when I was falsely arrested with injuries, was $12,500. And then they later paid themselves $50,000 in public interest money, public funding, just because they needed to be at a medium pay. As in terms of the representatives, because a lot of representatives that are from outside of Santa Barbara, they were getting paid more doing the same work that these representatives and these board leaders were getting, or were doing. And so the board leaders, the city leaders, what they decided to do is just pay themselves $50,000 more. And so if they didn't have enough money to settle my compensation, they said all they could do was 12,000. That's the max they can do. I don't know why they paid themselves $50,000. And if I was the one that got arrested while innocent, and I had to suffer with the injuries while sleeping in a cement bed. All in all, 7 years has been passed by, and there's been 5 people that have been getting paid because they're part of my daughter's case. And I'm talking about the DCSS attorney for the child services, the case manager, and the case worker for the child services, plus any court representative that gets appointed for our court or a trial or whatever it is that it's needed. They all get paid, and they've been getting paid for the past 7 years, while my daughter has been getting nothing. I've been getting no help, and I'm still injured. I was done wrong, and what I'm doing out here is I'm just protesting, letting everybody know that there's tyrants here, there's fake representatives, there's racists. Pretty much a lot of white people out here that are racist, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it straightforward. My courtroom was full of whites. They were racist. The people getting paid off of my daughter's needs, off of my daughter's suffering, off of my daughter and mine and my daughter's suffering are white. The DCSS attorney, he's white. The public defender was white. The court reporter was white. The commissioner was white. Everybody who is involved in my daughter's case and my daughter's needs, they're white. And so far, what they've been doing is they've been getting money to the county because I was an inmate. So every inmate, there's county money that needs to be accounted for because you need to keep the inmate alive. And so the people, the interest, the public money gets used. And so every time there's an inmate, there's money getting transferred to the county. And so what they've been doing is they've been paying themselves off of our suffering, off of our pain and suffering, and it's not right. That to me, that's tyranny, that's corruption. It could possibly be racist because, if these white people are doing it to just my people, the Mexicans, then, there's a real problem in Santa Barbara. I know that there's representatives that are Mexican or of other ethnicities, but at the same time, they're corrupt. Like I feel like they're already content at their level, like that they don't want to do any further. They don't want to do anything further for the people. Once you're at a point in life where you're getting paid good, you're getting paid right, you just have to come to work. You don't have to put an extra effort, because you're getting paid great. But they're not doing anything for the people. They're doing it for themselves. And that's why I'm out here. We need people that are going to represent for us. If they're going to be attorneys representing on behalf of the law and on behalf of the people, then let there be integrity, let there be honor in it. Let there be facts. Don't base the judgment based on assumptions, based on idealisms, personal idealisms. To me, that's fraud, that's fake, that's there's no honor in that. And to me, that's what they did to me. I had a DCSS attorney saying that he saw me recording during a parade event, therefore he didn't believe I was injured, and he wasn't going to accept my evidence in trial. He was going to make recommendations to the commissioner, etc., etc. And so I ended up getting arrested, and my evidence was never introduced. So to me, that was fraud, that was fake, it's corruption, and that's why I'm out here. I need to let everybody know that there's people working for Santa Barbara City, working on behalf of the law, the Justice Department, that they're fake. They're racist. They're not doing their job. They're just funneling, money off the people. They're just taking advantage of the people, and that's not justice. That's not America. That's not what America symbolizes. There's no honor in that. And that's why I'm out here. So with that being said, hopefully I get a glimpse at some of these representatives. But right now I think they're at a public meeting, and I've been out here for 2 hours already. My back hurts. I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow, see if I choose a different time. maybe come a little earlier, maybe come like at 7:30, from 7:30 to 9:30 to see who comes into work on time, in terms of the lawyers. See if I can get them all on camera, because I want to show you guys that the majority of the people representing the law in Santa Barbara are white, and I don't think they're doing a good job at it. I think they're doing I don't think they're doing it unbiasedly. I don't think they're doing a job unbiasedly. I think they are doing it a little a little prejudiced, a little discriminative. And it shows, in my case, I was arrested while injured, forced out of a disability hearing, forced out of a civil conference, charged $9,000, and told $12,000 is all they could do. But yet they paid themselves $50,000 shortly after they settled my settlement. And the way they settled it, they sent me an email saying that's all they can do, take it or leave it. They weren't gonna budge, and I told them, I need a lot more because I was injured for 4 years, and they said that they couldn't do it, that was all they could do, take it or leave it. I told them I don't want to leave it, that I absolutely didn't want to leave it, but if that's all they can do, then I'm forced to take it. I have that on email. I do believe I was talking to Madeline Orr, and the risk management team should have looked over that complaint, not the public defender. So with that being said, I've been wronged. I've been done dirty. They took my money. They've been taking my money. My daughter still needs. I still need help. My daughter still needs help. And these motherfuckers are paying themselves, public money for no reason. They're not doing extra work for us. They're not doing anything for us. And that's why I'm out here. I got to let everybody know that there is tyranny in Santa Barbara, fake representation, and they need to be fired. They need to be held, and not only that, but the doctors need to be held accountable because they did cause an injury. It did cause a false arrest, and I was arrested for 40 days. So if the doctors could get arrested 40 days so that they can know what that feels like, I would highly appreciate that. That would be more fair than to just let this be at what it is, and continue to hassle me for the payments, I owe $26,000 in child support, but I can no longer work the same, and I'm out here. This is wrong. This is Santa Barbara, California, and I'll be doing this all week.